What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Frank Martin, Artem, right? These guys surprised me. Frank Martin, it wasn't the best performance. He had some struggles. Being aggressive wasn't enough. He came in there with a guy that was also undefeated, 12-0 with 7 KOs, coming from Hamburg, Germany, with over 200 amateur fights and an Olympic bronze medalist. And it showed. It showed definitely why this guy was who he was. He had this he had a tricky style. He kept his guard high. He wasn't a Michael Rivera that came in thinking that his experience was going to win him the fight alone. It was hard to really put shots together. Martin, shout out to him. I think his defense is what really saved him. If he didn't keep his guard high, he would have ate a lot more shots. Now, surprisingly, though, they had Martin behind because Martin is known to get people out of there and get them out of there fast or drop them fast. That didn't happen in this fight, okay? This fight was a grueling fight. Derek James started to complain. Artem was really throwing some pretty good shots in there. The right started to come into play. During the last quarter of the fight, maybe around 9 or 10, Frank was starting to get hit flush by right hands, but by that time there was a clash of headbutts, and I think the accumulation of the shots that were landing, on our team, swole that eye up, and Derek James set fire under Frank Martin, definitely, and told him, like, listen, you got to get it together, stop him. And that's when Frank Martin became more aggressive. Again, he's normally aggressive throughout, and I've seen some lacking in that, so that kind of worries me, because what happens when you get in there with these other guys that do know how to bang, that do, know more offense than Mr. Artem did, what happens then? So, a lot that happened in this fight, the 12-round rally from Frank Martin. Artem took a knee, which pretty much sealed the deal, literally, for Frank Martin. Frank Martin, actually, I think, because one scorecard was 115-114. The other ones was 115-112. So, if it wasn't for that knockdown, it would have been a lot closer. So, but of course, that's what makes him who he is. That's what makes these fighters great, by the opposition that they take on. And, much respect to Frank Martin. I think he won the fight, but I do think, it was a lot closer than I seen it, because Steve Farhood's unofficial scorecard had him losing to Artem. So, wow, I mean, it just shows when and how you have to dig deep to prove that you are who you say you are. And he's in with a group of people like Errol Spence, Anthony Joshua. You got Ryan Garcia in there, and now him. And he doesn't want to be the missing link because he's not the new kid on the block. Ryan Garcia is. So you have to take into account of what circle you're in and what's expected of you being in that circle. Okay, so it's a lot going on in that sport. So, yeah, it's crazy. So I'm looking at those guys now, with Derek James training Anthony Joshua and Errol Spence. So, yeah, that's a serious gym. You know what I mean? And then all of those guys, in exception of Ryan Garcia and Anthony Joshua, are undefeated. So, and they want to keep it like that. They want to make the best of it. So, yeah, it's definitely where it's at. Yeah, good fight for Frank Martin. He dug deep again. He showed that he wanted to win. Bars. You guys tell me what you think of Frank Martin defeating Artem Yumyan. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!